300-pound tilt between powerhouse Abongo Humphrey and the red-hot Mike Kyle.
MMA's evolved. It's been amazing how it's evolved and how the fans are really starting to accept the sport. You know, 97 I started fighting MMA. This came such a long ways. Keys for me going into this fight, for me to be successful with the bongo, would be you know, using my height, my reach advantage, circling out, not getting caught up into that brawl fight. And I've been the distance before. None of his fights have been 3 rounds, and barely into the 2nd round. So I really plan on using my experience and my cage time, my height, my reach, my boxing skills, you know, and plan on winning this fight by executing those things.
And now, joining us to the blue corner, standing at 6 feet 4 inches, he weighed in at 205 1/2 pounds. He is a freestyle striker with a record of 16 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, with 11 knockouts and 2 submissions to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the heavy-handed bomber from San Jose, California, introducing Big Mike Kyle.
And really, Mike Kyle, Stephen, is MMA's reclamation project. In 2006, you were at cage side when he was disqualified for an illegal kick, and then subsequent strikes to the head of Brian Olsen during WEC 20. The California State Athletic Commission suspended him. It took nearly 2 years for him to get his license back, but boy, has he ever made the most of his 2nd opportunity, having won 4 consecutive fights, and in his last effort, picking up the King of the Cage light heavyweight championship.
It's a complete resurrection story with this man right here. Got the best attitude, and Crazy Bob Cook at American Kickboxing Academy has stood by him the entire time, had his back. Now the difference here tonight in fighting Abongo Humphrey is that he trains with wrestlers like Cain Velasquez on a day-to-day basis. So if Humphrey is going to want to do one of those submissions, he's going to have to work for it. As Mike Kyle so eloquently said before, he's going to want to use his height and reach and use a lot of straight punches and take this into deep waters and maybe try for a head kick.
You know, and Kyle, like you said, has come so far, been through so much. He really feels like he belongs here. He's gone through the fire, and he's improved a lot with that win over Fejao in his last fight also.
All right. In a world where egoism is becoming more and more prevalent, if you are looking for a role model, you could, well, do a lot worse than his opponent, someone who redefines the word altruism.
You know, I see mixed martial arts as an extremely spiritual art. I think that most people overlook the concept of MMA. It's an art. And my goal, really, ultimately, is to find that calm within the storm. To be able to find myself in the midst of the emotional chaos, the emotional ups and downs, highs and lows, but yet still keep myself focused and calm. So I've got a chance to see Mike Kyle. He's going down. No, you know, my prediction, honestly, is that I'm going to execute my game plan. And I'm going to execute my will, and I'm going to dominate that ring. That ring is my house. You know, it's my place. There's no doubt about it. And I'm going to own that cage. That area that we're fighting in, it's mine. Period. It's mine.
And joining us to the red corner, standing at 5 feet 11 inches, he weighed in at a trim and ready 202 1/2 pounds. His background is in combat jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. His record stands at 7 wins, 1 loss with 6 knockouts and 1 submission to his credit. From Atlanta, Georgia, please welcome the dangerous Iron Ring Tournament champion, introducing Abongo Humphrey.
A man who possesses plenty of character, someone who definitely is all about helping his fellow man. He runs various charities, both in his home of Atlanta, Georgia, and in Africa. In fact, he runs Meet Africa Movement for Americans, in which he gets U.S. citizens to travel to Africa and get in touch with the culture and also help that part of the world progress.
And one thing he's going to want to do to help himself tonight is use his speed and get Mike Kyle backing up. After standing toe-to-toe with Brett Rogers, Abongo Humphrey dropped down to light heavyweight to tangle with George Bush III, a man who had never lost a kickboxing or boxing match and who was 5-1 in MMA. This seesaw tussle saw Bush use his wrestling only to find himself on the wrong end of an Abongo guillotine choke. Finally able to showcase some of his grappling skill, Humphrey now looks for a bigger test against Mike Kyle from American Kickboxing Academy.
Doesn't hurt Abongo Humphrey to have Gary Brown, the legendary trainer, in his corner, along with Travin as his BJJ coach. That should help him a lot. Needs to use his kicks tonight to stop the height and reach of Kyle.
He also wrestles out of the cooler with John Handerhan as we check out the tail of the tape for this light heavyweight tilt.
Yeah, Abongo Humphrey is 3 years the senior. Kyle, 5-inch height advantage. That should pay off hopefully for him. 3 pounds heavier, although Abongo's coming down from heavyweight, only his second fight at light heavyweight, and the reach advantage is the same. Abongo needs to move his head while they're punching to avoid the height advantage.
StrikeForce action in the light heavyweight division. We're scheduled 3 5-minute rounds. Our referee in charge, Ryan Hoisington.
Blue corner, are you ready? Red corner, are you ready? Let's fight!
3 5-minute rounds of the 205-pound division, and immediately they meet in the center of the cage, and Kyle unloads the lefts and rights on Abongo Humphrey. Kyle working out of the American Kickboxing Academy. In his corner, the likes of Crazy Bob Cook and former StrikeForce lightweight champion Josh the Punk Thompson. Already getting through the guard, and Abongo Humphrey desperately going for a shoot, but is thwarted by the much taller and longer reach of Kyle.
He's coming forward a lot. He's got to be careful doing that because he's walking into some things. Kyle's boxing has improved immensely over the years, and I tell you what, he looks sharp tonight.
Kyle has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, Stephen, for the simple fact that a man he defeated, Rafael Feijão Cavalcante, is getting a shot at the light heavyweight champion, King Mo, August 21st. He feels if a win comes his way tonight, then he may be the next in line.
I would have to say so, too, because these guys are two dynamic individuals. The winner of this fight should be eyeing that light heavyweight title. As Pat said earlier, I think that the boxing has improved. I love those double, triple, and quadruple left jabs to set up that right uppercut when Abongo shoots in.
Of course, Abongo Humphrey was an undersized heavyweight, took on Brett the Grim Rogers, and even though he lost, he impressed Mike Kyle in that fight, and now in a much better 205-pound weight class, although in this fight, again, giving up 5 inches, although the reach is the same, although you can't see it right here, considering what's happened so far in the early going of this fight.
Well, yeah, and Kyle's done a good job, obviously, with the boxing. Abongo needs to use more kicks when he is on the outside to negate the punching. You have to do that. A guy that sets down on his punches, take his legs out from underneath him a lot, so he can't set his punches up and dig in.
I think when he throws that low kick, he should dip that head down real low to avoid the right-hand counter as well.
Humphrey separates now, coming forward with lefts and rights, and now a slugfest beginning to materialize as Kyle backs up, looking for the tie clinch. Now with the takedown is Humphrey into cross-side position.
Abongo's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, stay in Kyle's face and drive him around the ring. He's following the game plan and doing a good job. Very successful job on the takedown also. Good job on his part.
Humphrey is yet to go the distance. All 7 of his wins coming via either form of knockout or submission. The veteran Kyle, again, having won his last 4 fights, has looked very impressive.
Kyle was smart to get his back to that fence right away on that takedown, because he's going to do the infamous Pat Milton's wall walk.
No elbow strikes on the ground.
What, no reaction? You're that humble, Pat? You're not going to thank Stephen?
I threw it to you, Pat.
You know, I thought they started the no grabbing the shorts rule because of me.
Close guard of Kyle. Posturing up as Humphrey delivers a bomb of a right hand, sprawls, and now looks for the modified anaconda. As he told us in the fighter meetings, we thought it was an arm-in guillotine. He calls it the modified anaconda.
And that was a modified escape by Mike Kyle.
Well, you see, you know, Kyle defended that choke well, but when you defend it, you have to give up position to survive. That's just the way it is.
Less than 90 seconds remaining in the opening round. Scrambling now is Kyle, looking to get back up. Humphrey now again.
Nice job of sliding his knee in the hole. That's tight.
This could be a problem here.
Kyle needs to roll on his right side. Corkscrew out. Good job.
Kyle escapes again, gets back to his feet. Nicely done. And a jumping knee by Kyle. Rocks the jaw of Humphrey. The right hand by Kyle. Push kick by the AKA product. Another flying knee attack by Kyle, but this time Humphrey's momentum takes Kyle to the ground.
I don't know who made the abongo's chin, but he did a good job.
I was going to say, because if we didn't see it enough in the Brett Rogers fight, we're seeing it now, eating 2 flying knees and just walking forward like nothing happened.
And again, long distance strikes from Humphrey. Sweep by Kyle, nicely executed.
That happened because Kyle had the underhook and was able to come up, and Abongo didn't hit the whizzer, basically throwing his arm over Kyle's arm for leverage to shut that down.
Humphrey trying to scramble. The bigger Kyle stays in the half butterfly. Looking to pass the guard. Now into full mount. But again, beautiful job by Humphrey, exploding the hips, reversing things here against Kyle. What a first round of action between these two light heavyweights, Abongo Humphrey and Mike Kyle. And again, Humphrey going for his, what do we call it, Stephen? The modified anaconda.
Anaconda. That'd be an arm-in guillotine.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Here's Abongo Humphrey attacking non-stop in this round. Locks up the front. It's basically a front headlock, arm-in guillotine choke. He was not able to block the arm inside, but it's also good to get their arm trapped between your legs because they can't use that hand to fight hand control. Here's the flying knee that landed very solid. Abongo Humphrey with a heck of a chin, following up with a takedown. Good instincts on his part.
Blue, are you ready? Red, are you ready? Let's fight!
Bell, and the second round is underway. Fight Professor, very competitive opening round. How did you score it?
Oh, that was a tough one because Mike Kyle did so well at the early part of the round, but Humphrey got him on his back and was going for submissions. I would have to go with Abongo Humphrey in that round because he was simply putting Kyle in more dangerous positions than Kyle put him in. But the flying knees almost neutralized it.
I'm going to agree overall. I think Abongo won the round, but you got to remember now in the second round, if I'm Kyle's coach, I'm saying you need to box with this guy because all those guillotine attempts had to have worn Abongo's arms out. He's not punching crisp anymore. Let's box with it.
Yeah. Salient point.
I would have to say that Kyle probably is going to have to be a headhunter in this fight. And there it is.
Nice combination put together by Kyle. Push kick. Goes for the body, and Humphrey just barrels forward. Bull rushes him into the cage. Kyle with the double underhooks, able to drive a knee into Humphrey's belly. Another knee. Listening to his corner, American Kickboxing Academy. That one may have been just south of the equator. Referee allowing it to continue. Takedown by Kyle. Looking to use his balance, but watch out here as Humphrey looking for the leg.
He's got it locked up pretty well. He's looking for that heel hook. Looking for that heel.
Kyle's trying to spin out and escapes. Nicely done, but now Humphrey in the close guard of Kyle. Boy, lots of transitions and plenty of action between these two 205-pound athletes again.
Action! I need you up, Mike! I need you up! Action!
Humphrey begins to hammer away on Kyle from the guard.
Continue, go. Action.
Kyle doing a good job now of tying him up. You know, you hope.
Let's break. Stand up. Up. Stand up.
You hope for a stand-up, basically, is what you're looking for when you do that. And that's what he got.
Let's go. It's kind of a quick
I didn't understand that at all.
A little premature.
Yeah.
And now swinging again, both of them wildly. Body lock by Kyle, looking for the trip takedown, and he secures it.
Oh, this
into the mount.
This is going to be tough for Humphrey because he can't roll to his left. He's got to use those feet and spin around.
Humphrey giving up his back. Kyle looking for the rear naked choke.
Got to get that right up, that right hook in.
And you can see Abongo Humphrey needs to get his back to the mat, but protect from the mount happening again, which he didn't do.
Good control by Kyle. Looking to get the hooks in now. Wants to flatten out Humphrey.
So much energy expended in that first round by Humphrey with the takedowns and the top control. He's starting to fade now.
Now Kyle smashing away at the side of Humphrey's head with the right hand.
Back mount.
Watch your back of the head. Watch your back of the head.
I don't know what this referee is seeing, but those shots. Mike Kyle picks up his 5th consecutive win and submits Abongo Humphrey here in the 2nd round. And Mike Kyle, the resurrection of a career once thought ruined, continues here in StrikeForce.
That was such an incredible fight.
Once considered the bad boy of MMA, Mike Kyle continues to do bad things to his opponents as he wins his 5th straight fight and now really positions himself for a title shot, having defeated Fejao Cavalcante, who is getting the next crack at King Mo.
Yes, and I think he definitely deserves it. He's improved so much. Very crisp groundwork. You know, attained the mount, attained back position, good boxing skills. Good job tonight by Mike Kyle.
Mike Kyle did it all. Abongo Humphrey can't be completely ashamed of his effort either, because he brought the fight to him.
A lot of great action in this fight. Here you can see Mike Kyle throwing great boxing combinations the entire fight. Really crisp hands tonight. Very impressed with that. Abongo from his back looking for that leg lock, locking up the heel hook. One thing he did wrong, he rolled with the heel hook instead of letting Kyle roll into a knee bar. You go ahead and stay where you're at, let your opponent roll into something worse. Toward the end of the fight, Abongo obviously had spent a lot of gas, was tired, couldn't improve his position. Kyle doing a good job locking up the palm, gable grip, choke, and finishing the fight.
This has got to be the biggest win of Mike Kyle's career, and now he is perched to challenge the winner of the title fight coming up against King Mo and Fejao.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 3 minutes, 28 seconds in round number 2. A rear naked choke ends this contest as the fighter taps out. He is the winner by way of submission, Mike Kyle.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. God, it's good. Thank you.
Mike Kyle picks up his 5th straight win, and Mike, a couple of years ago, back in 2006, a lot of people thought that your career might be over because of the suspension in the California State Athletic Commission, but boy, have you ever turned things around. Talk about this victory and what it means to you.
You know, God's been really good to me. You know, I put my faith in the Lord, and I never gave up when a lot of people thought I should. And, you know, this is just a stepping stone. God has a lot planned for me, and I believe that this is just a stepping stone. I'm ready for things to open up, other opportunities. I know that I have so many people to thank, and there's a lot of people that stuck by me too. I love you, my girl, Stephanie, Serna. Love you as soon as I get home. The Murphy family. You know, Bob Cook's been the man. He stuck by me when a lot of people didn't. Bob Cook, I love you so much, man. I mean it. You've always had my back, and I love you very much.
Let's give it up, Everett, Washington, for your winner,